Post day here, with your father, at your age, with your pregnant wife.
Sister Monica, you are 36 years old and you are dragging for space with your 27-year-old brother. Exactly. Old maid.
But after I pay for your introduction finish, see as they talk to me.
Okay. So it's because of ordinary 200k that you want to control my life, Abi?
Monica, the door. Monica, you the door. Monica, you the door. If not me, I go use slap. Slap. The kind of slap I could use, design your face left, right, and
I kept asking myself, what crime did Monica commit in this life? Just that she came first, though. That she was born first was the only crime she committed in this life. Sometimes I don't blame first daughters when they're really sent. But you can tell how it's literally turned her from a beautiful young woman into an old woman. And then when you now become this old, you're now looking older than your age. They will now tell you that now they tell you your mind. Now because you're wicked. Now because you jealousy. Now because you pay body. Like seriously. Like everything she has been through is not enough to make her look older than her age. You begin to ask yourself, why the double standard? Why am I not also allowed to make a mistake? I'm a child too. I want you to know that your labor of love, it will never go unrewarded. So two first daughters actually recommended this movie to me. Things like this are some things that we sit out and discuss and also encourage each other. So now let's go to the movie, Monica. First of all, let's give it up for Uche Montana. Yes, she is an amazing writer, and she told the girl that acted Monica, the younger Monica, she was amazing, she was relatable, she was believable, she was real. And the same with big Monica as well, Uche Montana. All the actors of this movie, they actually did amazing work right here. Now let's move it down to what concerns us. I couldn't watch this movie without being agitated. I watched it last night, so I cried, definitely. I cried, I was angry, I was just raged, you know, because this is the reality of many first daughters. May not be exactly the experiences of Monica in this movie, but we will not deny that we all have a fair share. Our pain and our realities are almost the same. You understand what I'm saying? So now, if you notice, I've always hammered on certain things on my personal page and on the Firstborn Tribe page. There are certain things that I do not stop talking about, which is choosing yourself as a first daughter. As a firstborn, choose yourself, and choose yourself. It is not being selfish, it is not being rebellious, it is actually expedient that you are looking out for yourself and you're not all about saving everybody. So I'm going to take a few scenes from this movie that actually, you know, hit me hard, and then I'll just dissect it and talk about it and relate it to many of us and our realities today. You may not be Monica, but you must have been Monica in a way. One or two of Monica's experiences were your experiences. One of the things I picked from the movie was how Monica was so invested in taking care of her younger ones from a very young age. You see, she woke up early, she was doing the mommy work, she would follow her mom to sell stuff and come back, right? She was being the second mother, which is not a problem. It's not a problem. But then again, why Monica? Do you get what I'm saying? The mother is there, the father is there. Why should Monica be carrying the weight of her siblings as though she is not a child? I could not understand the dynamic as to why the parents were so comfortable making Monica a parental figure in the house. Now, secondly, Monica complained about how the guy was talking to her and how she's uncomfortable with the way he addresses her. But what did the mom say? She dismissed her feelings. She turned it upside down. It validated the reality of Monica. Why? This brings me to my point. You know, this movie really made me realize and believe many first daughters when they say their mother was the weapon fashioned against them. Some mothers were very cruel to their first daughter. Until for the life in me, I would never understand why. Your own daughter would be your competition. Your own daughter would be your enemy. Your own daughter would be the person that you do not want to see win. Many firstborn daughters have unhealed wound from their mothers. We're going to discuss this, but let's move on. Another part was where the father came and was like, oh, he wanted Monica to go to school. And the mother was like, if left for her, Monica can speak English and she's okay, left for her. She will say, let the two go first. Do you know this is the dynamic of the African home? So the first child should hang in there and sort, and Monica is the one going to be paying the school fees. It is how entitled the parents, especially the mother, was for me. You know, your siblings have not gone. Their school fees has not been paid. And the audacity she uses to tell Monica, she was really conditioned to think that she was the savior of the house. And today I'm telling you, first daughter, firstborn, you are not the savior of your house. You are not the savior of your siblings. Please relinquish that weight. Drop it. You are not. the savior of your home. When you take up that responsibility, you have become something that God did not call you to be. Your childhood should not be sacrificed for functionality. Now, many of us cannot go back and recorrect or rearrange our childhood, but some of us have firstborns now. We have first daughters now. We have children now. It is our duty to do better. Don't ever make your first child grow up thinking that she owes her siblings her life. She owes her siblings her functionality. She owes her siblings anything. No. I hope parents will watch this movie and some of them actually go back and apologize to their first children. Because when I watched the end of this movie, I was grateful that Monica had redemption, but not many firstborns have gotten to that point. Many are yet to recover from what went down. Some of them cry and say they regret. Oh, I sorted my sister's school fees. Oh, I paid for my sister's wedding. I sought everybody out. But at the end of the day, guess the question they will ask you: who sent you? I swear, I was waiting for this movie and I was hoping that the mother would not say that to Monica, but she did. This is somebody Monica literally laid down her life for. This is somebody Monica gave up her dream for. Jesus Christ. The woman managed to tell Monica who sent you. Started gaslighting Monica, telling her that, oh, you're not paper body, they do you they jealous. See, this is a movie, right? I wouldn't have believed the extreme lengths that Monica's mother went had I not heard stories from the firstborn tribe. I probably wouldn't have believed. But I believe 100% it is real. It is even a real life story. It's a true life story. And we have many of them in the firstborn tribe. So I know what I'm saying. I'm not even... That's why I said this may not be our reality, but we all had our fair share of Monica. Taking responsibility is noble, but carrying the weight of the whole family of the world at a young age steals your age and freedom. It steals your peace. It steals your goal. It steals your life. Another lesson that I wanted to share. I have been saying it. You'll be saying, I was training my younger ones in school. I'm training my younger ones in school. I'm taking care of my mother's business. I'm supporting my family. That is good. And I always say, it is not a crime to do that. But do not do that without boundaries. Do not do that without wisdom. Putting your dreams on hold indefinitely for others is not wisdom. I understand as firstborns, we really love our parents. We love our siblings. And we want to do everything to, keep them, make them happy. That is okay. But when you are beginning to do it at your own detriment, you build resentment, whether you agree or not. With time, you will resent them because they did not force you. And truly, some of them that are actually ungrateful, you will hear them in your lifetime tell you that, who sent you? That is the most heartbreaking, heart-wrenching statement any firstborn, any breadwinner should hear from people that they literally sacrificed everything for. She wanted her mother's approval so bad that she did everything. She went above and beyond. And she never got the approval. Now, this brings me to the point where you are trying to bend over backwards to get people to like you. Listen, I told you before and I'm saying it again. Your destiny does not need you to be timid or to be a pick-me. Another part of this movie that really pissed me off, got me angry, got me emotional was her sister. Is it that she didn't realize or she suddenly had amnesia of what Monica had to go through from childhood to keep her and her brother happy? And you see, this is the reality of many first daughters today. I'm not even lying. Many firstborns, the siblings that we came into this world with, are also the weapon fashioned against us. Some of them are very unreasonable. Some of them are very unreasonable. Why in the world would Monica's sister talk to her in that manner? Oh, I don't want to be in my father's house at an old age. You see, this brings me back to parents. This is why you must raise your children in love, not survival. You see the way all the siblings are not connected. You see the way that the pain of the firstborn is not the pain of the secondborn. Neither is it the pain of the thirdborn. Only the pain of everybody is the pain of the firstborn. As for the firstborn, she's alone. Have you ever been there? When if number two needs help, you are there. If mama needs help, you are there. If papa needs help, you are there. If any other person needs help, you are there. But when it is your turn, there is nobody. Nobody. You will still have to find a way to be there for yourself. Sometimes you're already exhausted. You are tired. You are tired. You can't even do anything. Firstborn daughters, don't burn yourself down to keep people warm. Parents, raise your children in love. Because if those children were raised in love, it will not be a case of all of them just against each other for no just cause. Oh, and sister, how do we do this? Why does the second boss on the... Anyway, let me not cause a war here. Some second boss are they're terrorists. If care is not taken, they will dethrone you from that first boss situation. Anyway, that's just on the lighter note. But you see, the fact that the sister didn't feel the elder sister's pain was a failure on the parents' part. You did not raise those children up in love. I kept asking myself, what crime did Monica commit in this life? Just that she came first though. That she was born first was the only crime she committed in this life. Sometimes I don't blame first daughters when they really sent. Yes. You get me? Because she had the love, she had a heart for family. Unfortunately, this family, the parents were so laid back and they dropped this weight on Monica. That was the painful part of this whole thing. The weight was too much on her. Yes, it's a movie, but you can tell how it literally turned her from a beautiful young woman into an old woman. And then when you now become this old, you're now looking older than your age. They will now tell you that now the thing where they your mind, now because you wicked, now because you jealousy, now because you people body. Like seriously, like everything she has been through is not enough to make her look older than her age. Parents, let's do better. Let's talk about the fathers. It is my prayer. May the young firstborns coming up never have a father like this Monica's father. What kind of father is that? What kind of man is that? First daughters, you see, this is the kind of man you should never marry. A man that is neither here nor there. When the water carriers go here, we go here. A man that can't stand up for his child, regardless of the fact that he knows that she's being treated unjustly. But maybe because he's also benefiting from the tax, he's also benefiting from what Monica is doing. So he can't really talk much. He can't really stand up against the mother, which is a problem. The part where the guy was like, he wants to travel, he wants to marry her, and let him just get married before he goes and all of that. While I know that the mother's pressure affected Monica, I don't feel like she made a bad decision by not accepting the man's proposal. Because, of course, if you can marry me, leave me here and go, you can as well go and come back and marry me. That part of her, it was not a mistake. That part was not exactly an error to me. I feel like it was okay for her to make that decision. But what was not okay was that he came back and now found his sister and didn't even remember the Monica he came for again. Their first daughters, let's enjoy this movie. Sometimes let people do what they want to do so that you can see what they are capable of doing. When you try to bend yourself into certain situations, you realize that you were doing yourself a disfavor. While the father was a very useless, I would say, but useless father, there were certain things he said that were true, like the time he was advising her and talking to her. It's actually true. That man was never meant for Monica. But it was an opportunity for Monica to know the kind of mother she has. But I think sometimes love just blindfolds her. And it's quite unfortunate that the family went that route with the guy that was supposed to marry Monica. What now pained me the most was how the mother justified everything that the second daughter did. And Monica didn't even have the opportunity to even make a mistake. This is our reality, another one. The things that you would want to try and they will shout on you and you will never want to try it again. Our siblings will try it without even thinking twice and nobody will say anything. You begin to ask yourself, why the double standard? Why am I not also allowed to make a mistake? I'm a child too. Why am I not allowed to play? Why am I not allowed to talk? You can see the way the second siblings was always running her mouth without the fear of anybody telling her to shut up. But the moment Monica wants to say anything that concerns her, the whole world is against her. You two do. But you two talk. You two they feel. You two carry everything for mind. First daughters, I am sorry. I am deeply sorry. I watched this movie and all I was saying was I am deeply sorry for most of us who has had to deal with any of this, and the one that the movie did not even depict, the one that the movie did not even talk about. I'm really sorry for everything you had to go through. And now that brings me to the end of this, because I can go on and on talking about this movie. The lessons, however, number one, being a good daughter does not buy you loyalty. For the most part, I'm not saying this is how every family is, but this is just what you should know. Monica's story is a wake-up call for every firstborn daughter. You cannot pour from an empty cup. To be a first daughter who must survive in this life, you must be ready to choose yourself. You must learn to prioritize your joy before you become a ghost in your own home. It is never too late to take that weight off your shoulders. It was never yours to carry in the first place. Monica's tears are a mirror. If her story hurts to watch, it's because you're probably living her reality. You've carried them far enough. It is time to walk yourself. Every first daughter who gave up her degree, who gave up her love life, who gave up her dreams, to be the glue that holds the whole family together, I'm sorry. To the sisters, the providers, the advocates, the lawyers of the family, this is for you. Stop carrying the world on your shoulders before you break. This is the best part. There's a part that touched me. It made me really cry. It's the part that says, God hears. You see that woman that she worked for, that was the mother she never had. The part that she told her that God actually hears, that is true. God hears. God hears your cry, your silent cry, your pain. He sees all of this. I want you to know that your labor of love, it will never go unrewarded. Your labor of love, dear first daughter, it will never go unrewarded.
Throughout watching this movie, all I was thinking about was, you are a fool. It's just that I like you, that's why I'm still here. And a bunch of you recommended this movie, so we're going to talk about it today. And what movie is that? The YouTube movie titled Monica by Uche Montana TV. And I do have a lot to say, most of which I think a lot of you would not like. So Ndo in advance, okay? Let me start with, it was quite excruciating to make it through almost 2 hours of this movie, especially because it did not need to be 2 hours. And on top of me saying it was too long, I'm hearing there's part 2. I don't know if those are rumors, but even if it's not, now when I go handle that one, make one join me inside. When I tell you I have never put a YouTube, specifically YouTube video on 2x speed, I'm not lying. But I had to do it with this film. This is why I stay away from YouTube movies, because they edit their movies like African magic epic. I know we're looking for that YouTube money, but at this point I don't care. People are reducing the quality of your movies by making it too long and dragging out scenes that are unnecessary. Repeating lines in movies that are unnecessary. Said that thing 2 seconds ago. Why is she saying it again? This scene should have ended 30 seconds ago. Why are we still going? All I was doing was skip. That aside, let's get into the plot real quick, because that really is where the bone of contention is. The movie focuses on a main character, Monica, right from when she was little. How she is from a poor family and she helps her poor mother sell pap, helps her siblings get ready for school, how she attends sewing classes. Mind you, I'm guessing she should be around 16, 15 at this point, and she isn't going to school. But her siblings, who are twins, a boy and a girl, are going to school. Now, right off the bat, I think from like the first few scenes, you can tell that her mother is useless, in the sense that she does not like her daughter. She does not like Monica, and no one could really tell. Throughout the movie, I kept asking myself why she didn't like her, but I resolved to jealousy, to be very honest. Mothers can be very jealous of their daughters, and I feel like she was somewhat jealous of the fact that she was a young, fine girl that could make it, but then she decided to keep her trapped. And if you say that doesn't make sense because she was nice to the sister, I think it's different, because the sister did get preferential treatment a lot from the mother, but I felt like the mother kept feeling like all the things that Monica kept passing through were not enough to keep her down, because things still wanted to work out for her, and she was the force that said things will not work out for you, my dear. And I could tell she was useless from the moment she kept telling the babe that she was acting out when that man called her my wife, and then she came back and told you when she went to go and sell by herself that the man told her to enter his house so that they can do things together and he will give her 15k, and you asked her if she went in and she said no, she didn't. And your response was, okay, so if you didn't, why are you making it an issue? That is the sign of a useless mother. Yeah. When she should have been going to school, she did not go. Instead, they used her school fees to pay for her siblings. She stopped, I think, at SS2, SS1, and didn't write WAEC. The siblings did and started to disrespect her too. The only person that seemed to genuinely like her and appreciate her efforts as a first daughter is her father, who also, I think, is very useless, because if you cannot talk to your wife and tell her, you know, you're acting like a witch, right? Then you shouldn't be married to them. You shouldn't be having kids. Monica always giving the excuse that, you know, my father doesn't like stress, doesn't like wahala. It's nonsense. It pissed me off. He should like stress enough for you. Yeah. I've digressed from the plot, but anyway, she continues to sell pap for her mother and go to her sewing classes up until the point when she is 21 years old. At 21, she meets him, and I know all of you set me up in this movie to go and watch it because we have the same name. I don't know why people went to go and name him Pascal, but that's another gist for another day. I'll come back to that. She meets Pascal and they're all lovey-dovey. He tells her that he wants to marry her. He promised to give her money to buy the sewing machine that she wants. He gives her the money. He walks her home, and at this point, I feel like this is where the story really starts, because her mother sees her hugging him goodbye at the gate and starts to make a fuss about it. Comes in and tells the father that, oh, she's trying to give the family a bad name, that she's hugging and kissing men in front of the door. Unnecessary? Her father was like, calm down, like it's not really that deep. And then she's like, the man I was talking to wants to marry me and he said he would give me money for my machine, and he did. And the mother is like, so he gave you money for your machine and you decided to keep it and you didn't bring it to the family? You are wicked. After not sending her to school because her siblings needed to go, he wanted her to bring money that will help her business to give you so that you can give the children to go and write their exams. Mind you, children that are also disrespecting her and saying she's an illiterate because she didn't finish school. And then after the whole guilt tripping and the mother is keeping malice with her, she decides to give the mother the money to give her siblings to write their exams. And honestly, before that point, I was really looking at her like a fool. But at that particular point, I was like, you're a big fool. Like maybe they swore for you kind of fool, because the freak. And the mother says she shouldn't marry Pascal because she's too young. Why would she be marrying at 21? She should wait till she's 25. Mind you, Pascal needs to travel and go abroad for work. Pascal is like, I really wanted you to marry me now because I wanted you to wait for me when I go abroad and then come back for you, or send for you, whatever the gist is. And she's like, if you really love me, you'll wait for me. You wait till I'm 25, like my mother said, before we get married. Dupemu, like... Anywho, they decide to wait. She tells him that she's going to wait for him to come back, even if she's not sure that he will come back. And mind you, this baby's waiting for, guess how long? 15 freaking years. She was 21, now she's 36. See, still in her father's house, probably still helping her mother sell pap, and then still attending sewing classes. At this point, she's now a tailor in the place that she was sewing, learning to sew. So it's no longer sewing classes, she's now a tailor. I'm gonna cut the long story short. It turns out that she's coming back from work one day. She sees Pascal randomly in her house after 15 years. Of course, she's happy because she genuinely kept herself and decided to wait for him, only to find out that he is not even in the house for her, but he is there to see her younger sister, to perform introduction rites for the hand of her younger sister in marriage. And she's like, how long have you guys been seeing each other? And he's like, oh, a month ago I came around here and your sister told me that you were at work, but then I started talking to her and then I decided to take her on a date and then we started talking and then we started seeing each other and now we are deciding to get married. And she's like, what? And then her mother opens her mouth and is like, all I'm saying is that I feel like this is the will of God. It was at that point that I felt like her brain should have clicked, but she still didn't get sense there. She starts to talk to the mother about how the mother doesn't like her and the mother hates her and the mother stopped her from marrying Pascal only to have given Pascal to the sister. And then the mother is like, why are you blaming me for not going after what you want? And honestly, she clocked tea there. She clocked tea because you should have married that man if you wanted to. You should have gone after that life that you wanted if you wanted it. Regardless of what your parents say, regardless of whoever relative, whoever, regardless of what they say, you should have gone after what it is that you wanted, because in this life you should be selfish to a particular extent. But you weren't, and now you want to blame your mother for not marrying the man that now wants to marry your junior sister. And then she decides that she's not going to go for the wedding, she's going to be moving around the house angrily, only for the mother and the sister to be taunting her, until her father now calls her, Monica. Her father now calls her, and her father was like, if it was God's will for you to marry Pascal, you would have been the one marrying him. Nobody can change lies. I hate when people use religion to try and hide their inadequacies. You couldn't help me, you couldn't do anything, you couldn't talk to your wife, but you're here coming to tell me if it was the will of God. You are all liars. But at that point, she decides to forgive and let bygones be bygones. She now tells her sister that, she's blessing the marriage, that she can marry the man that she actually loved. Crazy shit. But that is not even where her own shame ended. When they say your cup is full, well, hers runneth over, because apparently she can still take more. Her brother decides to go and impregnate somebody that he calls his girlfriend. Brings her to the house and is talking about how he doesn't have a job to take care of the girl, but his family, he wants to marry the girl, he wants to keep the baby. And then they're like, okay, so his mom is like, okay, so where would you now keep the girl while she's pregnant? And Monica opened her mouth to say, hey, she can stay with me, we'll stay in my room. Only for the guy to come crying to Monica, telling her that, the mother says she should abort the baby because she doesn't want her having a baby outside of wedlock. Monica is like, don't worry, I'll give you money for your introduction so that you can do that first and then have her as your wife, and then you can just do the rest when you have money. Who sent you? Mary Amaka? Nobody. But now you go do. Nyoma see why. After paying for this boy's introduction, tells me why the wife suddenly starts to disrespect her, as in, you are too old to be in your father's house. I'm in my husband's house. Even if it is your husband's father's house, but anyway. Then starts to push her off the bed, starts to bully her, starts to talk down on her, and then the brother joins into saying, you're trying to ruin my life like yours, blah, 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 blah. When I say Monica chop insult way even more, less than half, I know fit. That is what Monica chopped. Until the point where she now realized nobody was actually fighting for her anymore, and then she decided, you know what, I'm going to leave this house. She leaves this house and decides to go and stay in the shop where she was learning to sew, which, mind you, the madam that taught her to sew decided to dash her the shop because her husband went abroad and decided to bring them over. So she's like, yeah, just handle the business from now on. She decides to go to that shop and she starts to sleep there, when one random day the woman that gave her the shop came back and was like, you're still here, like you're running the shop, this is so nice. Anyway, I'm starting a fashion school and I want you to be a tutor. I'm going to take you abroad. That was how her life changed. Overall, the plot, I give it a good 7. It had some substance. I feel like the way the movie was edited really reduced the quality of the film, made it excruciating to get through. Acting, I'll give it a 5, especially because of those couple of scenes where the children kept looking at the camera. You can just reshoot it, guys. Why don't we? Overall, as a movie, I'll give it a good 5. Let me know what you guys' ratings are. What are your thoughts on the movie? And who really is the real villain in this movie? I think it's the mother. I'm still wondering why she never poisoned her. But anyway, that'll be all. Bye, guys.
I think I'm the only one that does not want the Monica part 2. And let me explain why. Everything that is possible for us to see, we've seen it in the part 1. We've seen how Monica finally stood up from the thing that was doing her and she left her family. We've seen that at the end of the day, Monica finally got the opportunity to start over, even if it was too late. We've seen that the married one is no longer around. We've seen that Bobo and his useless pregnant babe, they are still going to be in the house. So I wonder what you people are expecting from a part 2. Do you want bad things to happen? Do you want the Pascal to start suffering catching? Or you want to start seeing Monica's episodes abroad? I believe that the reason why we connected so much with this story was because it is a true life story. So we are sharing in Monica's pain. When we start seeing part two now, they will have to infuse some sort of fiction to it. So we're not getting originality again. Me, I believe that part one was fine. There's a movie that advocated for part two so bad. The Other Woman, I really wanted a part two. I was like, I have to see the part two of this movie because it was not complete. But this one, you're seeing happy ending. After everything that the first daughter of this wicked woman has gone through, she has finally gotten the opportunity to leave the country and start afresh. And to me, that ending is happy enough. Except people are looking for more trauma. Because what exactly are we going to see in part two again?
I'm from watching the Nigerian movie, the one called Monica. But you see, guys, Mommy Monica, Mama Monica, Chica, the sister, Pasco, the husband to Chica, the boyfriend, that was the boyfriend to Monica. You're not going to see heaven. Also, can we have a part two for the Monica Nigerian movie? I cried at the part where she was leaving the dad and going to find her life, and the fact that this Nigerian movie was based on a true life story. Mami Monica, you will not see heaven. God is watching you.
You see this movie, I regretted watching it. I started watching the movie with the mindset they're going to be a romantic movie, but no, they have something else in store for us. I would have checked the review before watching it, because anything that has to do with a movie that's going to make me to cry, I know they watch them. Why am I crying for a fucking movie, please? Why? Any movie that going to make me cry, I do not used to watch it. That's me. But this movie, Jesus, I started watching, I could not even stop. I was so angry. I was so frustrated. I was like, Jesus, what's wrong with this woman? The mother. I hated the mother. I hated her siblings. I hated everybody in that movie. Even Monica said at the point was annoying me. Bro, the siblings, I don't even like that. Those siblings are so useless. Very stupid siblings. And the mother is very wicked and very annoying and very frustrating. Ay, oh my God. I cried for this girl. Like, I don't even know if she even deserved my tears at the point. I don't know. Movie was so frustrating, Jesus. It's a very, very nice movie. For those of you that want to go and watch it, it's showing at Uche Montana TV. I watched it because Uche Montana was in it. She's my favorite actress, forget. But Uche now, oh God, this movie was an emotional roller coaster because what? Oh my God. I can't even stop thinking about it as I'm here. Because this is somebody's life. Because this is a real life story. This is somebody's life. I don't want to talk too much, I beg. Go and watch it. It's a very nice movie, but it's not something that I will watch again because, bro, I'm not about to start crying again for this movie. No way. But it's a very nice movie. You guys should go and watch it. Bye.